Good morning, Western community, and thank you for coming today. We'd love to share this formation with you, and we just want to say a special happy birthday to Father Pat for his 90th birthday today. Have a wonderful day together, and we'll start now. So we start today. Our formation today is called We Are the Light of the World. And we start with a grace. The grace we sit with now is radiance or illumination, to be a vibrant sign. The radiance of God's glory is His light on the earth. Jesus is the light of the world. That light is shining all over the earth, bringing illumination for man to know God. The mystery of grace is that we find our identity in Him. He told us, "You are the light of the world," Matthew 5:14. The radiance of God's glory is still here today. That's you. You are the light of God on this earth. And so now we pray for the grace of radiance and illumination, so that we can be your light in the world, our Lord. At Loreto in Italy, we were in a special way introduced to the red light near the tabernacle that is known as the sanctuary lamp. A lit sanctuary lamp signifies the eternal presence of God in the tabernacle that contains the Eucharist. Beyond the church walls, the sanctuary lamp becomes a symbol of carrying Christ's light into the world. It fosters a connection with the divine in everyday life. They serve as a constant reminder of God's enduring light in the world. The sanctuary lamp is more than a mere fixture. It embodies a profound symbol of faith. Envision the perpetual glow of the sanctuary lamp, illuminating your sacred spaces, bringing a deeper spiritual meaning to your worship and daily life. You carry that light into your relationships, your homes, your family, your work, your worship, your world. You are the light of the world. To sit and bask in the light and presence of God is a blessing and a joy. His light encourages us to be a light for others. Being a light in the world is being able to lift people's spirits when you are present. So each person in that person's presence feels encouragement, support, relevance, and happy to be there. So what sort of light are you to others? They will now play a song called We Are. Please listen to the beautiful words and sing along.
Reading from John 8:12. Again Jesus spoke to them, saying, I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. When I first made my weekend, it was like a new light was turned on in me. I could see God in a new light, myself in new light, Marion and the church in new light. I met others who carried the light of Christ. Australia, New Zealand, Fiji, Italy, our mentors in Worldwide Marriage Encounter, the priests and couples who dedicated their lives to others, to help marriages and family in our world. The many gatherings with these vibrant lights encouraged us to be light. The light was clear, vibrant, exciting, enthusiastic. We also experienced the fragility and power of the light, the candle, how it flickers and sometimes goes off. Their experience was also our experience, which is why I'm still here today. So our couple love and our family love can be light to our world. This generates excitement, and I feel energized and alive, knowing that we are, as couples and priests, and as the movement, are sharing in this to be light in the world. It's like standing on a mountain looking down and just in awe of the beauty of the valleys and the forests before you. We are God's family, and we want to show His light, His love to the world. We have a prayer. Dear Jesus, help us to spread your fragrance everywhere we go. Flood our souls with your spirit and life. Penetrate and possess our whole being so utterly that our lives may only be a radiance of yours. Shine through us and be so in us, that every soul we come in contact with may feel your presence in our souls. Let them look up and see no longer us, but only Jesus. Stay with us, and then we shall begin to shine as you shine, so to shine as to be a light to others. The light, O Jesus, will be all from you. None of it will be ours. It will be you, shining on others through us. Let us thus praise you in the way you love best, by shining on those around us. Let us preach, and without preaching, not be words, but by example, by the catching force, the influence of what we do, the evident fullness of the love our hearts bear for you. Amen.
Amen.
So that was a prayer by St. John Henry Newman.
So we will present 3 talks today. One is basic relationship, the spouse, important relationship, spouse and God, and extended relationship, spouse, God, and world. And each block we will share how we go through romance, disillusionment, and joy. Talk 1, spousal relationship. So we now sit with the grace of excitement. A call to a relationship, we're talking through romance. When I first set eyes on 18-year-old Andrew at youth group, I was attracted to his humorous and sporty personality. He was charming and chivalrous. What happened? He was attentive, respectful, and he liked me. I also liked his long bow legs and long, thick locks of hair. He was very good looking then, and still is to me. We were soon inseparable and were together as much as we could be. Life was exciting and ideal. We could not bear to be separated and found ways of spending time together. My need for love and to belong was nourished by his presence and his love. I laughed at all Andrew's jokes, and we talked for hours. I thought Andrew was so mature, knowledgeable, and caring. The church was a big part of our lives, and we participated in all its activities, maybe just to be together. I experienced being loved, being special, and being attractive and wanted in his eyes. It was like living in a new world. Now, as we journey through 35 years of marriage, we have chosen to be in relationship no matter what difficulties we face. During our initial romance, our feelings were a big part of our relationship. But now it's the choices and behaviors that we have committed ourselves to, which has helped us build our relationship to be stronger. The choices to romance each other come from years of dialogue, to learn to play and laugh together, to spend quality time with each other, being aware of our sexual relationship, praying for and with each other, writing cards to each other on birthdays, celebrating our anniversaries, and making decisions daily to love and be present to each other. Forgiveness and healing are an essential part of our journey and a special gift of grace. We see each other's faults and also see each other's qualities and choose to be in relationship. We still experience the excitement of coming home to each other and of seeing each other grow in our relationship.
When I first set eyes on Marion, she was 15 years old. She was a new girl in town, and all my friends in the youth group were talking about this new girl who had come to stay in the neighborhood. I was inquisitive to find out what the fuss was all about, and the rest is history. I was attracted to Marion by her innocence and the way she carried herself. But most of all, I was attracted to her as she was the first girl who actually had a proper conversation with me. At 18, all girls were annoying as I had two sisters at home. This one definitely wasn't. Being with Marion, I felt fulfilled as a person with a caring attitude, her listening skills, and most of all, I felt valued and loved. I was important in her eyes. I felt happy, energized, and free, like a bird being set free from its cage to fly the skies again, like a child with its first bike, with the wind in my hair. Then I had a lot of it. Everything we talked about was interesting. My need for love and to belong fulfilled, and our communication deepened, and we shared our dreams and expectations for our future. After 35 years of marriage now, we are awake to living our choices to romance each other, sharing a meal on Valentine's Day, celebrating our anniversaries and remembering each other with small gifts on our birthdays. As we grow older, our time together is important and nourishing our relationship by our dialogue, prayer, acts of service to each other, and being awake to our sexual communication is part of our sharing.
So we now have a couple and priest sharing for 5 minutes. So share as a couple. Of their two priests, you can share with each other. Reminisce your story of meeting, and for priests, your first parish, especially the needs that were nourished, communication patterns, and how your relationship grew. So I'll repeat that. Reminisce your story of meeting. For priests, your first parish, especially the needs that were nourished, communications patterns, and how your relationship grew. You have 5 minutes for this. Please stop the video. The grace we now sit with is understanding. Scripture, Colossians 3:12. Therefore, as God's chosen people, holy and dearly loved, clothe yourself with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. Like the morning mist melting away slowly from the mountains, when the sun rises, the tenderness and closeness began to slowly drift away from us. Little disappointments came up and slowly we stopped communicating deeply. Little things began to irritate me, and other things around us became more important than our relationship, duties, hobbies, commitments, and friends. Intimacy versus doing things, relationship versus activities, sharing versus silence, closeness versus distance, belonging versus separateness. I knew nothing about these things when I first hit disillusionment. I did not even know I was disillusioned. However, as I think back, I can see how I slowly retreated from being the loving person Andrew knew, and I became bitter, impatient, and someone who substituted a listening relationship for activities and providing. There was often silence as well as arguments on who should do the housework and looking after our daughter. My expectations of being loved, listened to, and cared for in our relationship were unmet. I felt used, alone, and questioning. It looked like a garden forgotten with weeds, unattended for years, like a guitar being left aside with no strings. When it once played beautiful music, it was useless now. I compensated for it by finding friendships outside our home, getting into play groups and mums groups. I felt alone, cut off and cold in our relationship, like flying on a big plane, not knowing anyone, and they were all speaking foreign languages. Our sexual relationship became a duty to be done, often ending up feeling isolated and distant. The tenderness of romance disappeared slowly as we struggle with our own pain and disappointments.
As we continued in our relationship, I began to notice that we were slowly drifting apart. The closeness we shared when we first started, my expectations of being listened to whenever we talk about something, met with disappointments as Marian turned away and did something else. I felt confused, hurt, cut off, and alone, like not being invited to a party when all my relatives were invited. The fun, excitement, and enthusiasm were replaced by emptiness, loneliness, and insecurity. Resentful, angry feelings affected the tone of my voice. I have experienced disillusionment as a state, a mood, a prolonged period of being negative, itchy, disagreeable, wanting to argue and disagree about all kinds of small stuff. I was judgmental and critical. Deep inside me was the haunting self-doubt about myself. I judged myself mean and unloving and began a journey of self-rejection. It led me to feelings of resentment and frustration. Like a referee that frustrates me because I judge, he is one-sided in giving out penalties. This led to loneliness, where I doubted my own self-worth and relevance. I responded by working hard to prove myself. I became unprotective and defensive of my position, my attitudes, and my behavior. I felt the pain more deeply as I still love Marian, but I could not show her as my feelings of doubt and frustration steered me away from communicating and being in relationship. I judged that this is the only way to stay married and just survive because of our marriage vows.
And so we have a reflection question asked just for 5 minutes. What do I run to when I want to avoid a relationship with you? And share with your spouse or brother priest. You don't have to write this down, just share. What do I run to when I want to avoid a relationship with you? Please stop the video. Joy. Joy is the fruit of love, making the decision to love daily. Making and putting our relationship in the center of our life brings joy. It is through dialogue and living deliberate choices for our relationship each day that we experience this fruit of our love. Dialogue has helped me to get in touch, name and share my feelings with Andrew, and that has brought us closer. It is choosing to listen with my heart to Andrew when I least want to listen. I have the power to love him and really hear him. It is asking Andrew for his forgiveness when I have done something to hurt him. It is when I wanted to hide and keep my pain inside me but share with him my heart. It is in choosing to turn towards him and face him when he is talking to me and not doing something else. To affirm him in my words, know that this is his love language. Love is not a feeling, it is a decision, an action to love, to create love. It is a deliberate action to the other, for the sake of the other. Continually living the decision to love this way brings joy. It elevates our relationship to a state of joy where disillusionment becomes spaces of learning and growing and not situations of pain and disappointment. Disillusionment becomes a place of growth, of standing up again to love. It creates mutual trust, and even when difficulties come up, we know that our love for each other is stronger than those situations, and we can overcome them together.
I have tasted the joy, the fruit of making decisions to love. Marion and I allowing myself to be loved. Dialogue has helped me to listen and to risk and trust Marion's love to share myself, especially when it is difficult, negative feelings. It has challenged me through the years to go beyond my fears in making the decision to confront in love for the sake of our relationship. It has also taught me to be gentle and loving with my words. To love is making the decision to communicate more with Marion, letting her know my plans and asking her for her input. To ask for forgiveness when I hurt her with my words, not to shut myself away in my cave and wallow in regret. These love decisions and actions have built our relationship to stand strong when signals of disillusionment appear, to stand up and face it rather than running away. Experiencing the joy that comes from making these decisions has changed the way I face disillusionment in our marriage. It has become a place to once again show my love and commitment to our marriage, a place to learn how to grow more in love. It is a Paschal journey. In and through this, we become more light in the darkness.
Talk 2, Spouse and God. So now we sit with the grace of faithfulness. Thou made Adam and gave him Eve, his wife, as a helper and support. From them the race of mankind has sprung. Thou didst say, it is not good that the man should be alone. Let us make a helper for him like himself. Tobias 8:6. God's plan for us, romance. I grew up in a strong Catholic family. My mother and father showed us how to pray through the sacraments, devotions, but mainly through their example of service, loving, forgiveness, and compassion. I witnessed in their own lives as my parents worked in the parish and in helping in our community. They would teach English to street children every day of the week. They helped in Vincent de Paul, and my dad would take care of the dying in their homes or at the hospice. Our lives revolved around the parish and our community, family and friends. I was helped in growing my faith in the Catholic school I attended, where the nuns taught us. Joining the Catholic youth group in our parish empowered me to look ahead in the future and prayed for whatever God was calling me to. And of course, I met Andrew there. When I met Andrew and during our romance, I knew that marriage was my vocation. And I felt truly blessed that God had sent me someone to share my life with. We both had a deep faith even in our youth. We knew God walked with us. Just 6 months after we met, I found out that I could not have children. When I told Andrew and gave him his freedom to go, he opted to stay as he said it was me he wanted. I knew then that this was something special. After our marriage encounter weekend, making daily decisions to love has helped us to build intimacy and taking responsibility for the sake of our relationship. We know that working through our differences and accepting each other through making choices together has enriched our relationship. We both believe in our couple prayer, meditating together, praying for and over each other, and receiving the sacraments helped build our relationship with God. Striving to live God's plan in our marriage, I have come to appreciate Andrew's qualities of faithfulness, honesty, humility, courage, and affirm them. We value forgiveness and healing, reevaluating our choices. I also see Andrew's weaknesses and choose to be with him in difficult moments when he is impatient, frustrated, broken, or confused, and not to turn away. I have learned to be patient and wait for him. Unity calls me to appreciate that we are different. We are not the same. The work at what is best for our relationship.
I grew up in a Catholic family too. My parents taught us how to live our faith in prayer, receiving the sacraments and attending Mass. Saying the rosary was a daily occurrence, and we made the sign of the cross before we ate. I became an altar server in our parish and went for daily Mass. I played football, and here we call it soccer, and hockey at Division 2 level, and life was good. God was a big part of my life, and I knew He was with me. I joined youth group, and I met this beautiful, honest, confident, but innocent girl from the city who seemed reserved, loving, and elegant. Meeting Marion was a God incident. I knew it right away. In our marriage now, I experience God's call to unity in our differences, and we choose to accept each other. I came to know that we both believe in praying as a family and praying as a couple for others, for ourselves, and over each other. We believe in forgiveness and healing as a grace, in helping us to stand up again and start again. In our marriage today, we are there for each other no matter what. We are going through a rough patch recently with my mental health, and Marion has been my rock. She will not let go of me and supports and encourages me to get better. It has been a time of closeness, intimacy, and unity, a true testament of our marriage vows. When I'm close to Marion, I also experience God as close and loving. On the other hand, when I'm distant from her, I find God distant when I pray. Our Encounter family has provided a wonderful home for me to share the values most important to me: my faith, our mission, our serving, and loving each other the best we can. At this time of suffering in our Marriage Encounter family has been our safe place, our prayer support, our family, our friends. What a blessing.
So the world's plan and disillusionment. Now we talk about disillusionment because we live the world's plan, and it drives me out of relationship to living a married singles lifestyle. I'm attracted to living the world's plan in our marriage by being in control. I guard myself against being vulnerable and being confused. At these times, I'm often independent and organized, often not taking the time to build an intimate relationship with Andrew. I know I need to communicate my feelings in an honest and trusting way with him. Yet my fear of being hurt and disappointed if my expectations for a deeper and richer relationship fall apart keeps me self-protective and independent. I am unwilling to trust in Andrew's love, and I develop a behavior pattern to retain control. I think I need to ensure it is easy and comfortable for me. I compensate for my need to love and for love by doing good things for our relationship. I will set up our list, plan our family life, and initiate activities that is good for our relationship. I would go on top of Andrew's decision to our daughter if I thought up a better idea, and this leaves Andrew out in the cold. However, this gives me the satisfaction that I know better about what is good for our daughter. I find it hard to listen, as my fear of being seen as weak imprisons me. So when it comes to listening deeply to Andrew's thoughts and ideas, I find myself closing up, fearful of realizing that I have to change and face my weakness. While I do experience the short-term ease and comfort of living this way, the world's way, I also experience its long-term fruits of frustration, loneliness, and isolation. It affects our relationship, as I cannot risk being vulnerable and trusting when I am busy trying to hang on to the control I'm convinced I need. I blame Andrew for not taking responsibility, yet not wanting to acknowledge responsibility is in my taking the freedom away from him. My need to and for love remains unmet, and I remain imprisoned by my fears.
Often there seems to be an appearance of good in what is actually not good, and an appearance of evil in what is good. This is all part of our wretchedness and ignorance, which we should deeply lament and greatly fear. That's Archbishop Baldwin of Canterbury. He said this between 1185 and 1190. The world's plan has a way of being attractive. That means we think it is good for us. The affirmation I received, my success in my career, or in whatever I do seem attractive, and it lures me. The subtleness of the world's plan continually pulls me like a current in the sea towards achieving things rather than forming unity by loving people. Similarly, self-indulgence in the pleasure of my phone, the TV, the internet, etc. are addictive. The instant nature of these pleasures makes them attractive. This pulls me to plan my day so that I can do good things for Marion, and still satisfy my own perceived needs through these pleasures. Striving to live God's plan is a journey to unity. Living the world's plan takes me out of unity. Living the world's plan pulls me to living as a married single, where I seek my own fulfillment outside of our marriage. It pulls me down into the darkness of thinking only of myself, choosing not to communicate and be in relationship, letting my feelings control me and suppressing my pain and hurts. I live my attitude of, I do what I want, and my time is my time. It draws me to do activities alone, like watching sport, working long hours to do well at work. In this way, Marion is blocked out of my life. I'm not awake to our relationship when I am seeking my own gratification. I close myself off, and Marion does not know where I am and what I am feeling or thinking. At these times, I am defensive in our relationship, and disillusionment sets in quickly.
So we have a group sharing for 15 minutes now. What aspects of the modern world causes me the most difficulty in living God's plan of unity in relationship? The question is, what aspects of the modern world causes me the most difficulty in living God's plan of unity in relationship? Please stop the video now. The grace we sit with now is elevation, being lifted up. We speak through joy. Here we talk on the joy of trying to live God's plan for our marriage means that I have to be awake to making changes in myself, my attitudes and my opinions. To live together in unity means building our closeness and taking responsibility for ourselves, for the sake of our relationship. We are now more connected as a couple, communicating, sharing our feelings, thoughts, and ideas. We are also comfortable being quiet and sitting in silence with each other. We talk to each other at least once a day when we are at work. I like to know about Andrew's day at work and what he does, and like to share my day with him. I allow myself to be touched by Andrew's care and concern for me, especially with my well-being and health. I feel loved and cared for at these times. At times when I feel burdened and pressured, I ask for a massage or a hug instead of saying I'm okay and carry on with what I am doing. When I make decisions to live for our relationship according to the values of God's plan, I am free to experience loving Andrew and taste the joy and fulfillment of being loved by him. Every time I take responsibility with him for the sake of our relationship, I am awakened to the fact that the joy and peace I experience in our relationship is the joy and deep peace that God yearns for us. God is in our relationship, and we are blessed to be aware of it. When I choose to live in this awareness, I experience calm and peace that is gentle and life-giving to me. I feel like a lantern that is lit up and bright inside and gives lights outside to the world around me.
Striving to live God's plan for our marriage, I find myself struggling to go beyond my fears, to always trust in Marion's love for me. I know that to be able to do this, I have to let go of my need to want to handle everything on my own. I sincerely want to live for Marion and build a love relationship that is intimate and responsible as God yearns for us. I'm choosing to open myself and share my feelings in dialogue and allow her to love me and accept me as I am. I'm striving to share my feelings of insecurity in the areas of our sexual relationship, struggling at times to share my thoughts and ideas in the area of our future, our retirement and our health. I know that the more I communicate, the more connected we are. To live God's plan calls me to go beyond my fears and trust Marion more. It is at these times that my deep human needs are met. This is God's yearning for us as a father yearns for his children, to live in a relationship where we can taste the joy and freedom he has planned for us, and so frees us to love others too.
And so we have a song and a short toilet break for 10 minutes. A song will play as you have a short toilet break or you want to stretch your legs. The song is You Raise Me Up. Please stop the video now. Talk 3. Spouse, God and World. The grace we sit with now is openness and perseverance to embrace the cross. Romans 9:13. Love must be sincere. Hate what is evil, cling to what is good. Be devoted to one another in love. Honor one another above yourselves. Never be lacking in zeal, but keep your spiritual fervor serving the Lord. Be joyful in hope, patient in affliction, faithful in prayer. Share with the Lord's people who are in need. Practice hospitality. So we go through romance now. Our weekend awakened in me the dreams I had for our marriage. It helped me to see our marriage in a new light, of being a sign of love in the world. We were on fire and our light was burning brightly. We had an energy and power that was coming from the Holy Spirit and was radiating through us. The world looked different because we were different. We did not fully understand it at the time, but we were riding the wave of love and romance. The weekend has changed the way we live our marriage. We are now called to be a living, breathing sign of Christ's love for his people, not only for our family and relatives, but to all people, regardless of faith, race, and circumstance. As we strive to live our marriage, we are aware of our own and others' poverty and needs. It has given us the energy to come out of our comfort zone. We choose to go out and invite others to the weekend. We are proud to talk about what makes us different at parties or get-togethers. Praying in front of everyone when asked to say grace or say a prayer is a blessing to us. We are touched when couples we have just met ask us to pray for them. We are a sign when we stay together and enjoy each other's company. People notice this in us. At work, we are unapologetic about our faith and try to show them faith in action, not just in words. We are approached at work for marital advice and people find us a safe place to share their lives with. When we are asked to MC for big anniversary celebrations, we know that these couples see something in our sacrament. Our needs are nourished when we love this way, when we experience unity with others. We go out to the world as Christ's apostles of today in building his kingdom through being a sacrament.
Before our weekend, my world was my family, relatives, parish, and my close friends. I socialized with them and met up with them from time to time. I thought that I was living my faith by going to church regularly and singing in the choir. After our original weekend, I realized that we are a living sacrament in the church and in the world. I was awakened in a new way to being a sacrament. Our love relationship in marriage is a sacrament for the church. In being a sacrament, we are called to share our love with others so we can encounter Christ's love. We choose to serve others, enriching marriages and building the youth in our parish, visiting the sick and being there in their grief of losing a loved one, helping those who are separated and having troubles in their marriages. Sharing our sacrament in many ways like these, I feel empowered and hopeful that we are important in people's lives, that we bring Christ's love to others right where they are.
And now we have a dialogue question for you. 10 minutes of writing and 10 minutes of dialogue for 20 minutes. What do I think God is calling us to do in sharing our relationship with other people? What do I think God is calling us to do in sharing our relationship with other people? How do I feel about that? HDIFAT. How do I feel about that? I'll repeat the dialogue question. What do I think God is calling us to do in sharing our relationship with other people? How do I feel about that? HDIFAT. 20 minutes. Please stop this video. And so in this talk, we come to disillusionment. As we strive to continue our journey from the weekend, we met disappointments and pain along the way. After a while, my resolve for the weekend to continue this new life became for me like a mountain that was difficult to climb. All the enthusiasm and energy from our weekend slowly draining away when we had to do so much in the community. I felt disappointed and hurt when we were turned away from our parish or from inviting a couple. Seeing the dwindling numbers of couples who leave after the weekend and not return to community life. I see our community with the few same couples who persisted and come to help on weekends. Cancelling weekends because of low numbers, despite the work that goes in before to advertise and do pulpit talks, is disappointing for me. I remember a great sadness I experienced in our Encounter family was when we were in national leadership and we were faced as a council the challenge to close New Zealand down. It did, but we fought for New Zealand to become a unit of Australia, and that was what some priests and couples wanted in New Zealand. I felt hurt when this was met with much resistance, and we had to go up to world leadership to get approval. The dream for me at that time was like a bright light that cannot be reached on a dark night, losing the hope that we will ever reach it.
As we found out in striving to live a sacramental life and the values from our original weekend, we find ourselves at times swimming against the tide of the modern world in striving to live in community. We feel alone at times when we meet resistance or are hurt by others in our Encounter family. Often I question myself when only the same committed couples attend the Continuing the Journey monthly gatherings, or the couples we invite to a weekend do not book on. Sometimes I judge that we are the yes couple and other couples seem able to say no very often. when parish priests don't support us and don't see the value of marriage encounter. We feel disheartened and deflated. At these times, I see the dream we have seems far away or impossible. I judge we are striving for the impossible dream. All of us at some time have experienced disappointment and disillusionment within our ministry and with Worldwide Marriage Encounter.
So the joy. The value of the weekend still stands even when someone or something within Marriage Encounter disappoints us or hurts us. The dream is not lost because there is so much of hope and joy in our ministry. We are so much needed in our world. Loving couples and priests working together in the world to evangelize us, our families, and our communities. Pope Francis believed in us. He personally asked all of us couples and priests involved with Geppetto in Rome to walk with other couples and priests in our little part of the world we live in. We all do it so beautifully in Worldwide Marriage Encounter. We go on a weekend and it doesn't end there. We continue the journey of growth, understanding, awareness, love, and spirituality. We have had the blessing to know great men and women striving for love, relationship, faith, peace, joy, and purpose. As we say yes to new things, we meet more amazing people and learn so much more about our God, ourselves, and each other. We know today that it is not us, but God's power and light in us that encourages us to do more and be more. We have seen joy in every role we have had in the last 20 years of Marriage Encounter, from team presenters to continue the journey couple, which we still are doing after 20 years, to workshoppers, to team formation couple with Father Doug, to unit leadership, to national leadership, to Geppetto, who are still calling us on to a second formation in Loreto, and now as Australian team formation couple. The value of the weekend still stands strong for us. Our dreams are realized in Worldwide Marriage Encounter and in the people we serve and the work we do.
We are pilgrims on the journey. This year we celebrate Jubilee Year, a year of hope. I have great hope and faith in our beloved Worldwide Marriage Encounter movement. We know that the good work that is being done, the seeds we sow will bear fruit in the future. We know that if we make a difference in one couple or priest's life, we have served our God in the beautiful way. The many yeses that we have discerned with a trusting heart have led us to places, paths, and experiences we could never ever imagine. Maybe our yes, our enthusiasm and energy will be an inspiration to others. Doing pulpit talks, affirming and thanking our priests on Father's Day and World Priest Day, offering our help and service in our parish, in other ministries, and in the marriage ministry. Inviting our priests over for a meal encourages our priests to realize that there is something special in our Marriage Encounter ministry. Our dream is possible when we dream the impossible dream, because all things are possible with God.
So this is the last session. Please sit in a circle and light the community candle. And please stop this recording and start once again once you have set up. So we now sit with the grace of enthusiasm. We invite all of you to dream with us, our dream to light up the world, to share the light of Christ that is you, with all those around you, your family, your friends, your church communities, workplaces. Go to the broken, the marginalized, the poor, the unencountered. You are the light of the world. You are unable to be hidden. No one puts a lamp under a basket because a lamp is designed to help people see in dark places. You must remember this light is God's light in you. Every time you turn your hearts to God in humble prayer, you experience His light. Every time you seek His word and will in scriptures, the light grows in brightness. Every time you notice someone in need and sacrifice your own comfort to reach out in love, the light expands and swells. So what will you do with the light in you? Think about it. It has been a joy sharing this formation with you. We sat with many different graces today. We are now going into the final liturgy, and we will do it a bit differently today. So if you could hand out the prayer card and then stop the video. After this, we ask you to pray for yourselves as a couple for a particular grace. Once you discern your grace, write it down on the prayer card provided. After we finish, take turns to light your candle from the community candle and name the grace that you have asked for. The community will pray for you in silence, then move on to the next couple or priests. For example, we say today we ask God for the grace of patience and understanding. Please pray for us. And once everyone has done this, we would like you to play a song, Shine, Jesus, Shine. God bless you all, beautiful people. We'd like to just say a few words now as we end. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. John 1:5. This passage from the Gospel of John should give us great hope. In spite of the many challenges we are facing today, the light of Christ shines. The darkness, whatever is happening in us or in our family, in our marriage today, and in our hearts, cannot overcome the light of Christ. We are the light of Christ in the world. Thank you, beautiful people.
See ya.